as per my promise, I was able to find Phil again. In fact, he never left. Phil
Same
Beisel,
shirt, right?
same shirt. I got the same shirt in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
Phil, so we have, boy, do we have shirts, huh? I mean, yours is like, yeah. Okay, so we wanted to talk about the package. Oh, about Elon's package. No, I mean Elon's pay package. Let's
Mm.
make it clear. So you did a post the other day. I've heard some stories that you might have gotten, I don't know, 2 billion views or something. I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
some
Yeah,
crazy
so yeah, so if you think about the 2025 comp plan, uh what strikes you is first off the petty and crazy criticism as if someone wrote him a check for $1 trillion, right? And if you dig into it, you realize that these are insanely difficult tranches to hit.
You mean like, for instance, that they've never been done before by anyone
Yeah.
ever? Yeah, okay, there you go.
I mean, so I characterize this by characterizing the last big one, which is the $400 billion of effective earnings, EBITDA earnings, as the final boss. And so I
Right.
wrote a little post and I said, okay, how do you compare what is $400 billion of EBITDA earnings look like with respect to the world we live in today?
Right.
And I found that year, the highest EBITDA earnings ever was the Aramco Saudi company pumping oil out of the ground, which they're pretty good at. And there's a lot of that in 2022 in a post-COVID recovery year. And they got, I think, 225 or 230 something, like 230.
Yep.
And
And
yeah, I think it's,
it was a 1 year only deal.
yeah. And the next year, I think they followed it, but they they were under by 3, 4, 5 or something. I don't something like that. Um, so remember, this is 230 compared to 400.
Yeah.
Now, to give you some other perspective, 2024 is glorious and amazing as Nvidia is. Their EBITDA earnings were 35.
Right.
Okay, I think Tesla's last year was 12. Randy, do you know?
Right. Something like that.
Something.
And Nvidia's might get up to 75 this year.
Yeah, could. And then another way of looking at it is if you compare the effective earnings of if you combine 20, I think this is 24,
Right.
uh, Apple, Google, and Microsoft, you add them all together,
Mhm.
you don't get 400.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, it's like what in the
I think
world?
Microsoft is around
100 and
140 or something.
no,
And
less.
oh, okay.
Like I think it's like Microsoft's like I mean we should look don't have
Yeah.
to talk the numbers and we can look them, but
I
like
had them the other day.
let's call them 130, 130, 130
Okay.
for sake of argument. I think maybe Apple's the top dog of the three of those.
Well, it depends on which year.
Well, I'm talking about this the EBITDA
Understood.
earnings, right? So anyway, add the three, you don't
Yeah.
get 400.
Right.
Uh, Try that pumping oil out of the ground 7 times. I mean maybe two times X, assuming you have the demand, and you get about over 400 there, but that's not going to happen. So as is tall order. So I put this post up, and I think I was sensing this idea that the world would like to hear Elon say something about this. And sure enough, he quote posted it. This was on X, and that by in the next 24 hours, our post collectively ran up to about 24 million views.
24 million.
Yeah. I mean, 24 million is a pretty big number because I did a little research, and so far this year in 2025, his largest post was 37 million.
Wow.
And there's nothing really in the box above 25 except that one, I think. And and look, I don't give it's not credit to what I wrote. I mean, it's a big deal what I wrote. Who cares? But what's interesting is he's basically saying, yeah, that's a really hard number, but we're going to give it a try. I mean, you could read his post. And then he said, which I thought is the actual important part, is all of you can buy Tesla shares and come along for the ride. And the reason I think that's an interesting point is all of these people that criticize this pay, they all can participate. I'm participating. The way I look at it, in a very selfish and you could almost say arrogant way, is I've got Elon working for me.
Yeah, yeah,
So you can make Elon work for you too.
yeah.
Now, would he get there? Is he going to hit that number? Well, 𝐒𝐮's done some great work on this, and he's looked at the top line to bottom line, like what the top line looks like to get to that type of bottom line, and and really, the point of this comes out of two products that we know well, and they're both based on the future of the company, autonomy, right? So the products are namely robotaxi, the FSC tech stack, but it's really robotaxi as a service, transportation as a service, and then Optimus, which is labor as a service. So transportation and labor, and what's really stunning about this, and then really this is loaded up on Optimus. Like Optimus is the guy, the king. Yeah, I mean, and by the way, look at 𝐒𝐮's models. These are way better than my discussion here. Way better. But I thought it was interesting. I thought it was really interesting that Elon did make that comment, and so we're gonna give it a try. You know how how it is with him. He underplays certain things.
Some things, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so and going along for the ride, you get again into the irony of the folks, like you say, who are saying nobody should be paid $1 trillion,
Yeah,
and yet, if they put $1,000 in there, just $1,000, and he makes it, they're gonna probably get 16,000 for their 1,000. Or if they put 100,000,
yeah,
billion.
right. What do we know about this 400 billion?
I
We
think,
know that
yeah, I think
if he makes 400 billion,
yeah, sorry.
go ahead.
I think 𝐒𝐮 estimated it was going to be a 16x from where we were at 450.
Yeah, somewhere between a 30 to 50 multiple.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like implausible to come up with a different set of math. I mean, in other words, you can get caught up in looking at the market cap milestones and say that the finish line is 8.5 trillion,
Right.
which means $1 in yields $7 something shareholder with Elon's dilution. But you shouldn't get caught up in that, because if you can do 400 billion of earnings, and you get a rational growth multiplier on that, you're going to be I don't know, 12 to 24 trillion dollar company, somewhere in that small ballpark.
And then Larry, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
and then Larry Goldberg followed up, and
Great post.
I had to compliment him on it by saying this. That was the post I intended to do something.
Yeah, I know. When you wrote it, I'm like, you son of a, I wanted to write that. I mean, I don't do stuff really on, look, I've always said, I mean, my core governing philosophy, not really political, but more or less just pure, I'm an apologetic capitalist, and I believe that money flows down.
Yeah.
And so that article that Larry wrote is terrific, where he talks about the contributions of the Musk companies to the American economy, and I urge people to read it. And I even wrote, I said, read this once, read this twice, and then send to your friends,
Right.
because my point on that. Oh, and what's quite hilarious about that is I tagged Elon in that, and I said, this is quite funny. I tagged Elon, so I want to take some credit.
Yeah, for this one. Okay.
Where credit is really not due, I'm going to take some credit. And I tagged Elon, and I said, Elon, you should repost this, because it's not about you, it's about us. And I was thinking, it's a bit delicate, because it's really self-serving for Elon to post that about himself.
Yeah.
Well, Elon being Elon turned around and did repost it. and he posted it with a quote post. And he put a little American flag at the head of it, which, he was saying, yeah, Larry's right. This is what I hope to do for the U.S. economy. But the funny part was, Elon liked my post, and because as everyone knows on X, um, the only person that can see the likes are the author.
Right.
And a minute later, he reposted he reposted Larry's with the American flag.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I sent Larry a note. He hasn't responded, and
Oh,
I
he's been
said, "Hey
busy.
Larry, you better thank me for the repost." But look, really, the serious matter is that was a great article. It really talks about the infusion of money in every aspect, from taxes to job creation, into the U.S. economy based on these companies that he's created. And guess what, people? If you want to play along for the ride, Elon has told you how. There's this thing called Tesla stock, which was on sale this morning.
Boy, he wasn't on sale.
Oh yeah, it was a Black Friday sale, and I picked up a bunch. So I was,
Oh, good
yeah,
for you. Good for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to have some Tesla stock in recent time that was in the threes.
I
So
see. I see. So
so
there
I
you go.
yeah, yeah. So
Got you,
I
got your
mean,
chance.
come on, we don't know where the bottom is, we don't know where the top is, but
Seemed like a good price.
well, I mean, here's my logic and my defense of my position in Tesla. Okay. And it goes like this. As a retail shareholder, there are two things I have on my side. I've got time, where it's hard for the institutional side to do that as much because they've got to post their yearly gains and come in and out of the stock, perhaps. I have time, but then I also have asymmetric knowledge.
Right.
So I claim that I know more about Tesla products at a technical and frankly non-technical level than I think anybody on Wall Street. Like, if anybody on Wall Street, any analyst, anybody on Wall Street wants to have a conversation about Tesla products, I think I can run around them in circles,
Right.
run them around in circles, because I think I do know it. And so that's my piece of asymmetric knowledge.
Right.
And then I think the other funny, thing that is true is that, as we know, Elon is both a charismatic and a controversial character.
Very much.
And the controversial character makes a certain set of folks not love him every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I claim that that's a discount on the stock.
Right.
And I claim that that discount comes back to the stock as um, as revenues and earnings are materialized. And I claim that the same folks that may not buy a Tesla
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
will absolutely use the services of Robotaxi.
So,
They will use the services of Optimus, or will be served by Optimus. In other words, Optimus will be inescapably in their lives. And that, while they can complain endlessly about Musk and what he does or doesn't do, the reality is that I think I gain as a Tesla shareholder, because these folks will say, when they're going to go take their next robotaxi ride in San Francisco in 2 years, they'll say, well, the robotaxi service that Tesla runs cost me $10.30. If I do an Uber, it's $32, and if I do a Waymo, it's $16, and their wallet will demand. And then that money flows to the people who own the Tesla shares. So
yeah.
that's my
So I was actually flying back and forth to Charlotte on Delta, and Delta is very proud of themselves that they now have free Wi-Fi on their larger planes. And but I had just traveled on Hawaiian a few months before that, which has Starlink.
yeah.
And I'll dare anybody to tell me that Starlink isn't like next level compared to Delta.
There is no, what's funny? There is no airline that will not have Starlink in 2 years.
Eventually,
There's no airline.
they
Like,
won't be. Yeah, how
you
can they?
cannot, I mean, come on. Everybody is addicted to the internet.
Right.
Everybody wants the
Full
internet.
of fun. Full of
And by
fun.
the way, that's what's fascinating about that too, is, like when you're on an airplane today, and you watch, let's say you're on United and you call up a movie and they got this big, there's a server on the plane that has all these movies
Right.
in digital form, and therefore, you're getting that piped directly from, you're getting that piped either directly to your screen back or to your phone because you can use the United app to look at it, and then you're on Wi-Fi, but you're just getting the data from, the front of the cabin.
Right.
Um, but what's really interesting about this with Starlink on the plane, you can get your data just like you get it from Netflix, like from the center, right? In other words, you could just stream a Netflix movie. You don't really need to go to United's closed box of movies, although they've got a good selection. So
Anyway, yeah. So I think we'll see if the Elon derangement system, or I'm sorry, Elon
syndrome,
syndrome, continues past some of these new products. I think.
it will.
Well, so the example that I use, though, okay,
Mm,
as a conservative, I've had some very, 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 I've had some bad, bad thoughts about Google. I've had some
hmm
bad, bad thoughts about Amazon. I can't live without those two things. I have to have Google and Amazon to run my business. In
Yeah,
fact, I get 3 checks a month from Amazon.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So even though my conservative principles would tell me, oh, they've done something that I don't like, not necessarily today, but past years,
Oh, it's hard
or
to. Yeah,
you don't have a choice.
yeah, they
So
become indispensable
become indispensable.
services, and you have to check your you have to be a little hypocritical to go into it
A
full.
little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to admit it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean the thing is that all these companies are a mix. I mean, you're never gonna like the larger the company, the more personalities you're gonna have all sorts of, I mean, why is it that politics has become like the thing on the tip of your tongue when it was really not years ago? It's sad, unfortunately. It's uh, surface level politics is really the destruction of many things. Like, if you're not a deep thinker, you don't go beyond the surface. And I always think of it as if you're talking about people, you're at the surface level. If you're talking about ideas, at least you're a little bit deeper into the box.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, people may not like Elon, but as a Tesla shareholder, I know that 50% of them probably do because of just their political tribalism, and
Yeah.
50% may not and have those "I liked Elon until he went crazy" stickers on the back of their cars, still driving the car.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
And that's fine. I mean, whatever. And then, there'll be some percentage of people who will reject using their products. It'll be harder to do, harder and harder to do. You mean really hard to say, well, I need emergency surgery and Optimus is there to do it. And I look at it and I go, no, I prefer to die because I know that Elon created this product. Um, yeah,
Phil, I think that's a good ending right there. I think that was a perfect
that's
ending.
it, right?
It might even be the thumbnail for this show. I prefer to die than use.
Yeah. I,
Yeah,
I
that's
do not want the takeaway on this show to be on this particular segment to be politics. I want it to be more about like my focus in talking about this is
right.
how awesome is it to for Elon to sign up for the hardest thing ever, this 225 comp plan, how hard it will be, and if he achieves it, how much, frankly, money he'll make and what the world will look like as a result of him achieving it. That's the thought that everyone should have in their brain.
100%, 100% exactly
Yeah.
right. Okay, well, we'll be going on to part 3. If you missed part 1, I'll put the card right up here so you can go back and get more Phil Beisel because you normally you're going to get an hour of them on the weekend. This time we're just breaking it into segments. All right, and then buy the book, buy the book, buy the book because Phil is hoping that you will mention him in your review on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Yes.
want you read his chapter, and then when you're doing your review, just say Phil Beisel in the review, and that'll
I
make.
like my chapter.
All right, it's been great talking to you. Oh, thank you again, Phil, for coming on board. And then I say it's been great talking to you.